Hello guys, in this video we're actually going to get started on our layout. So let me go ahead and open up Draft Site. While that's opening up, let me show you guys this. So this is a sketch of the room in which the layout that I'm going to be making is going. This is the same room that the Alvaville Railroad was in. So as you can see, it's roughly well, it's almost 17 feet by, almost 12.5 feet. So it's, it's a decent sized room. It's, I would consider this layout to be a medium-sized layout. It's by no stretch of the imagination a large layout. Probably a small to medium size. So the verdict is still out as to what I'm actually going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do 2 levels or not with a helix. Personally, I don't really care for helixes. I've never had a helix, but I've heard they're problematic, and they definitely take up a lot of room, and real estate's valuable commodity to have in a layout. So I'd hate to burn up a 5 by 5 foot area. I mean, that's 25 square feet of your layout room, devoted to the helix. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but we can go ahead and get started on, taking this and transferring this to our CAD program. So when I measured it up, I used just one of those steel retractable measuring tapes, and so everything is in inches. When we go to enter in the information into our CAD program, we're going to have to convert inches to tenths. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to open up the prototype drawing. The other thing I'm going to do here real quick is, I'm going to erase everything, make sure we have I'm not going to use the prototype drawing. I'm going to do a save as command. And save it as a zoom extents. Make sure there's no more entities on the screen. And save that. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this layer 1. I'm going to leave the track layer. Excuse me, just simply because we're going to be needing that. It'll be one less thing we have to do in the next drawing. Okay. I think that's about it. I think for the I think I had my dimensioning, linear dimension, yeah, it's going to round to the nearest 1/16 of an inch, so I want that. And angular was degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much good to go. So Control S to save, just to make sure that we save our prototype drawing. Now I'm going to do a file, save as, and I don't know, you can give it whatever name you want to give it. I'm just going to give it I'm going to put track design and then just put today's date. Just save that on my desktop for right now. Okay, so there we go. We have a clean slate to work with, and so let's get started on plotting this room up. So if you remember from a previous video that there's 12 inches in a foot, but there's only 10 tenths in a foot. So a tenth is a little bit longer than an inch. So basically 1 inch equals 0.083. So that'd be 83 hundredths. That's how long. That's what the equivalent. That's what a tenth. That's what an inch would equal in tenths. So the way you determine that is, again, just a quick reminder: you take 1 and divide it by 12, and that gives you 0.083. So you can think of that as our multiplier. So any of the inches you see on here, so like 11 inches up here. So we would take 11 and multiply that times 0.083. And that's what it would be in tenths. So 11 inches equals 92 hundredths if you round up. So this dimension up here would be 16.92. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just plot that line up in our CAD program. I do want to create a layer here, and I'm just going to call it room. I'm going to make the color blue, and the line type I'm just going to leave it as being a continuous color. Okay, so I'm going to start our polyline command off, P, and I'm just going to select somewhere on the screen, and I'm going to turn on the ortho command. Now remember, I told you in a previous video with this ortho command, you can just kind of get the line going in the direction you want and just type in the distance. So the distance that we wanted was it 16.92? Yeah. So we want 16.92, so I'm going to type that in. And there we go. Just realized I didn't make room my current layer. So I'm going to make that my current layer. I'm going to take the line that we just drew, which was actually drawn on the 0 layer, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change it to room. There we go. So now it's on the room layer. So let's check that dimension and see if we come up with what was it, 16 feet 11 inches. So I'm going to type in DA. Let it snap on there and snap on there. And well, you can see it's rounding. It's going to round a little bit, so you're going to get a little bit of a rounding error, but you know, it's still roughly 16 feet 11 inches. So the reason it's throwing that 1/16 of an inch in there is because I think we typed in, what do we type in, 16.92 instead of 16.9166666666. So if we would have done it that way, it would have probably given us closer to 11 inches. Okay, so we got to do that for every physical feature in the room. At least I do anyway. So if we come back and look here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue this way. I'm just going to work around clockwise. So I'm going to go this 31 3/8 inches. That's from here to here. That's where the molding starts for the door jamb. So 31 3/8 inches. So the way you would do a fraction like that is you'd take 3 and divide that by 8, and then add that to the 31 inches, and then you just simply multiply that times 0.083 times 0.083. So that gives us, hang on, that's not right. We have 3 divided by 8 plus 31. And if we multiply that times 0.083, there we go. I must have typed in something wrong. I'll go back and look at the video and see what I typed in wrong. So 2.6 feet, now remember this is in tenths, that equals 31 3/8 inches. So let's open our, well, I'm just going to close that no name drawing down. So let's come back in here and draw 2.60. So let's come back in here and draw a polyline. Let it snap to the end of that line. I'm going to come down this way with the cursor and type in 2.60. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that attached for now. So let's go back and look at our drawing here. So it looks like the molding comes out 3/4 of an inch. Well, that'd be 0.75, right? So it's 0.75 times 0.083. So it's about 600. So we need to come out 600ths. So I'm going to type in 0.06, and you can see it come out 600ths. Now let's go back and look at our drawing. This is 3 5/8 inches wide. So let's come back up here and go 5 divided by 8 plus 3, and then multiply that times 0.083. So it's 3/10. So let's go back to our drawing and come down 0.3. Okay, go back to our sketch, and it goes in 4 inches, which I know to be 0.33, but you know, you take 4 times 0.083 and it's 0.33, so let's go in 0.33, and then we're going to come down this way. As you can see, the doors in my room in there, they're recessed a little bit, so that's why it's like that. So here we've got let's see, did I do a total? I didn't do a total distance. Okay. Well, I don't want to do the doors just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here and start here and work my way around. Okay, so let's go back to the. So I'm just going to right click to end the command, and then I'll right click again to repeat the command, and I'm back in the polyline command. So now it's asking me for a start point, so I'm select up here. Let's go back to our drawing. So this wall right here, there's actually a closet right here with the folding doors. That's what that is. So that's 4 feet 3. Can't even read my own handwriting there. I think it's 3/16. 4 feet. 4 feet and 3/16. That sounds right. Okay. Because when we built this room out, I remember it being really close to 4 feet. So if I want to get exact on it, you know, I could say 3 divided by 16. I don't need to add, because this is already 4 feet even. I don't need to add that. You know, now if it was 40 inches, 40 and 3/16 inches, then yeah, I'd want to add it. But in this case, I already know, you know, 4 foot's 4 foot. So I just need to multiply this times 0.083. So it's 4.01. If you wanted to round up, 4.02. So let's go back in here. 4.02. Okay, now we got let's see here. So it looks like it's recessed in 1 1/4 inch. So we need to go in this way, 1 1/4 inch. Yeah. Okay. Back here, get back here. So 1/4 is what, 0.25 plus 1 for the inch, and then multiply that times 0.083. So we need to go in for the closet 0.10. So 0.10. Then we're going to come down. It looks like 4.5 inch. So it's just going to be 0.5 times 0.083. It's 0.04, and then plus the 4 feet. So it's going to be 4.04. And then we're going to come back out that this same distance up here. Now, honestly, I don't remember what that distance was, but we can use, remember our object snaps here. So, you know, what we can do is we can go perpendicular to this line up here. See if it's going to give it to us. We might have, you could see it's trying to grab onto the end of that, or the midpoint. It's not quite giving me the perpendicular, but you can type in perp. If you were to turn end point and midpoint and all that off, it'd give you perpendicular. But I don't feel like turning all that off, so I'm just going to type in perp and then hover over it and see it's showing up down. It showed up down here when I did that. So that's that line. So I'm here now. So now I need to come down 1 2 1/8 inch. So 1/8 of an inch, 1 divided by 8 plus the 2 inches times 0.083. It's 0.1. We'll round up, say 0.18. So I need to come down 1.18 because it's 1 foot. So 1.18. Okay, and now it breaks in here to where you go up to a landing here to go into the house. So Let's see what we got here. I guess I measured this up like 2 weeks ago, so I think this was the total distance. So it looks like it's 4 3/4, 8 foot 4 3/4 inch. So let's go 0.75 for the fractional part of the inches, and then add that to 4. So it gives us 4.75, and then we want to convert that to tenths, so we'll go 0.083 times 0.083. So it's 0.39, and then you'd add that to 8. So 8.39 equals 8 foot 4 3/4 inch. So 8.39. By the way, if you're wanting to know how I'm bringing up this little shortcut here to toggle in between, use your Alt and hold your Alt button down on your keyboard with your thumb, and then hit the Tab button. Just keep hit the Tab button to cycle through. So now we need to come down this way. So let's go back. Oops, let's go back to our drawing. Looks like 3 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 1 divided by 2. 3 foot 1 1/2 inch. Okay. So we have that. It's going to be +1 for the. So it's 1 1/2 inch. 1 1/2 inch is 1.5, and then we're going to multiply that times 0.083, and add that to 3. And it's going to be 3.12. Okay, now we need to go okay, you know what, I didn't get a distance here either. Okay, but here's what we can do is we know the total. We're going to use some more CAD commands to finish this out. So we know that the distance from here to here is 12 foot 4 inches. So we can offset this line here 12 point, it's going to be 33 because 4 inches is 0.33. 4 times 0.083, see 0.33. So if we come in here, let's go ahead and just right click to kill the command, and now I'm going to offset this line 12.33, right? Yeah. If your lines are connected here, because like all these are going to be connected, so if I wanted to offset this line here to offset all these lines, what I do to get around that, instead of like exploding and then rejoining them together, is just draw another line on top of the line that you want to offset, and it'll be on top of that line, and then offset that 12.33. Whoops, offset 12.33. There we go. And then if I erase this line, well, that line's still underneath it. So when you draw an entity on top of an entity and you go to select, you're selecting that entity that you just drew. Okay. So here, here I can issue the fillet command and give it a radius of 0, so it'll make a a perfect right angle. So if we type in F for fillet and then R for radius and just type in 0, click here and here. That should have worked. Let's see. I'm gonna draw a line out here, and then I'm gonna. There's another, and I think I passed this one over here, but it's called extend. The shortcut is EX, and so it's asking you just to extend to what? The boundary edge. So we want it. What I'm going to do is extend this line here to where it hits this line. So I'm going to select the boundary edge, and I'm going to right click because I don't want to give it any more information, and I'm going to select the entity to extend. There we go. I'm going to erase that and try that fillet command again with a radius of 0. I don't know why that didn't work. It's interesting. Okay, I'm just going to grip at it, you know, clean everything up here. Okay, so since the room is square, we know we can work back this way and get all this in here. So I need to go 14 1/2 inch. I can read my writing here. Yes, 14 1/2 inch. So that's going to be what? It's going to be 0.5, because 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, plus 14, because it's 14 1/2 inch, times 0.083. It's 1.2. So let's go back into our P-line command, come up 1.2, and then we got to come out for the molding 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So that's going to be 3 divided by 4 times 0.083. That's 600ths. So we're going to come out 600ths. And then we're going to go 3 5/8 inch. 5 divided by 8 plus 3 times 0.083. That's 0.3. So I'm going to go up 0.3. And I'm going to go in the 4 inches, which I know to be 0.33. So 0.33. And then we can close it off. There we go. So that's roughly the shape of the room right there. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here before it gets too long, because it takes forever to process the video and then upload it. So in the next video we'll put in some more of the physical features, like the closet doors and the exterior doors and all that. So we'll see you in the next video.